The San people of southern Africa, who have lived as hunter-gatherers for thousands of years, are likely to be the oldest populations of humans on Earth, according to the biggest and most detailed analysis of African DNA. The San are directly descended from the original population of early human ancestors who gave rise to all other groups of Africans and to the people of the world. A study of 121 distinct populations of modern-day Africans has found that they are all descended from 14 ancestral populations, and the differences and similarities of their genes closely follows the differences and similarities of their spoken languages. Scientists analyzed the genetic variation within the DNA of more than 3,000 Africans and found that the San people were among the most genetically diverse group, indicating that they are probably the oldest continuous population of humans on the continent and on Earth. The study, published in the journal Science, took 10 years of research involving trips to some of the most remote and dangerous parts of Africa to collect blood samples. The project found modern Africans had the most diverse DNA of all racial groups in the world, confirming the idea that Africa is the birthplace of humanity. Let me say that again. Africa is the birthplace of humanity, said Sarah Tishkoff of the University of Pennsylvania. The scientists also found genetic markers in the DNA of the present-day inhabitants of East Africa living near the Red Sea, which indicated that they belonged to the same ancestral group who migrated out of Africa to populate Asia and the rest of the world. West Africans speaking the Niger/Cordofian language were found to share many genetic traits with African Americans, indicating that they were the ancestors of most of the enslaved Africans sent to the New World. One of the main findings to emerge was the genetic similarity between groups who shared similar languages despite living many thousands of miles from one another. The Sendawi and Hadaza of Tanzania shared common ancestors with the Koisian speakers of the southern Africa. All three groups speak click languages. An example of a click language is when you hear people of African descent speak like this.
Other groups of people with the oldest DNA on the planet include Aboriginal Australians. They are the indigenous inhabitants of the Australian continent and the island of the Tasmania. They are believed to be descended from the first people to leave Africa up to 75,000 years ago. This is according to a 2011 genetic study published in Science magazine. The researchers in the study found evidence in DNA samples that the ancestors of this population split off from the ancestors of the European and Asian populations between 62,000 and 75,000 years ago. These Aboriginal ancestors migrated into South Asia and then into Australia, where they remain. As a result, outside of Africa, the Aboriginal Australians have occupied the same territory continuously longer than any other human populations. This group also includes the people of the Andaman Islands. The Andamanese are the various Aboriginal inhabitants of the Andaman Islands, a territory of India located in the southeastern area of the Bay Bengal. This group of people is believed to have inhabited their Indian island home for up to 55,000 years. The Andamanese are direct descendants of the first modern humans to have inhabited Asia, according to a 2002 Stanford University study. And let's not forget about the Negritos, or the indigenous people who populated Southeast Asia from the Andaman Islands near India to the Philippines. Taiwan and southern China are also included in this distribution, according to a 2004 TaipeiTimes.com article. Genetic testing suggests that the Negritos are at least partly descended from a group who migrated from southern Africa more than 50,000 years ago, according to a 2006 Molecular Biology and Evolution article. And the last group that falls into this category as the oldest DNA on the planet is the Bayaka. Now, these Aboriginal people can be found in Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the Republic of the Congo, the Central African Republic, Cameroon, Guinea, Gabon, Angola, Botswana, Namibia, Madagascar, and Zambia. Their genetic markers represent the second most ancient gene pool. Researchers have found that their population derived from a common ancestor 60,000 years ago. So you see, folks, all of these groups of the oldest DNA on the planet, it is proved that they all just happen to be black. Now, as mentioned earlier in this presentation, the click language is one of the languages spoken by some of these original indigenous people. But one thing that we do want to point out is that many of these people spoke several languages. They spoke more than one language. In fact, many of them spoke three, four, and five different languages. They spoke those languages and they still speak those languages. The Black Excellence and Abundance channel, where Black history is every day.